West Virginia had their annual Gold Blue Spring Game on Saturday, April 23rd. I'm going to break it down for you. The offense looked really good. Does that mean we should be excited about the offense, or should we be concerned about the defense? Let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Goose, and welcome to yet another edition of your home for top-shelf college football content, Goose's Corner. So come in, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. If you like that kind of content, please hit the red subscribe button. If you haven't yet, please give me the thumbs up if you like this here specific video. And please share this with all your college sports-loving friends. Now let's get on with the show. Before I get on with breaking down the actual game, I want to talk about the attendance for a second. Could have been better, but it could have been a lot worse. There was about 12,678 people in attendance at the spring game, which is actually good compared to historic numbers. There are some people out in the media who are trying to make it sound like West Virginia had a really poor turnout of much less people, but that's actually not the case. It ended up being almost 13,000. First, let's hit on the defense real quick. Look, they weren't able to blitz. They kept the game plan very vanilla because they don't want to show their opponents anything on tape. It was basically two-hand touch for most of the game, especially on the first-team guys. They weren't tackling the first-team skill players. So, it was very limited. So, they did get one QB sack and 3 hurries. They were able to force a turnover. Aubrey Burks was able to get an interception. And Andrew Wilson-Lamp made a couple nice pass breakups in the defensive secondary, I thought. Lee Kuba looked good, made several tackles, was running around as we expected him to do. So there were some definite bright spots. Sean Martin is the one who got the QB sack. There were some bright spots on defense. But we all know the spring game caters to the offense. It's to entertain the fans that are there. It's to, and especially this year with the new offensive coordinator and all that, it's to get them ready and kind of get them comfortable with the new offense. So they did throw the ball around the yard a lot. The three quarterbacks played for both teams, the gold and the blue team. Which, by the way, the gold team won 22-21. I don't want to leave that out. But looking at the quarterbacks real quick, Goose Crowder was 14 out of 24 for 199 yards, a touchdown, no picks. Was by far the best of the three. He looked very poised in the pocket. His deep ball looked really, really good. It looks like he's able to avoid pressure by moving around in the pocket a little bit. It doesn't look like he gets rattled at all. For the most part, he made good decisions. In my opinion, he came out of this game as the number one guy on the depth chart right now, at least among these three. Now, obviously, we know that could change once JT Daniels gets to campus. Garrett Green was 5 out of 10 for 132 yards, 1 touchdown. He did throw the 1 pick. He made a really bad decision and threw the ball into double coverage. That's the one thing that Coach Brown has been harping on with Garrett Green. He needs to limit his bad decisions and stop making the negative plays. Well, he did make a negative play today. He also had several overthrows in the first half. But the second half, he came out and looked much better. He was able to hit Bryce Ford Wheaton on a couple long deep balls, including one for a touchdown. So, and he also looked good with his feet. So all in all, Garrett Green had an okay day. Didn't look great, but also I felt like he was able to redeem himself in the second half, and I was proud of him for that. Nico Marchiol, the true freshman, he was 10 out of 19 for 75 yards. So nothing earth shattering, but we got to keep in mind, folks, this kid is a freshman. He should be getting ready for his high school prom right now. Instead, he's playing spring ball at a Power 5 school. So he did run the ball also pretty well. He ran it 9 times for 26 yards and did have a touchdown run in the game. There again, he showed some really good things, but also looked like he was a freshman at times, and the game looked like it was a little fast for him at times. But he will get better. He has all summer and all fall camp to improve his game even more, and he has an extremely high ceiling. So I expect big things out of this young man. When you look at the running backs, Lynn J. Dixon did have 1 touchdown run. Justin Johnson only carried the ball 1 time, did look really good doing it. Tony Mathis looked pretty good. Jalen Anderson was the leading rusher on the day. He had over 40 yards in rushing. But at the end of the day, guys, like I said earlier, same with the defense, the running backs, they were basically getting blown dead when the defensive player touched them. So, they're not going to break any big runs or anything because of that for the most part. But I thought, they did what they needed to do. They were able to hit the holes when they were there. They were able to show some elusiveness. I'm still confident in this running back room and what they're going to look like going in the fall. The receivers, Bryce Ford Wheaton caught 6 passes for 98 yards and a touchdown. including a couple 50-50 balls he was able to go up and get, which is the one thing he wanted to work on this year. Looks like he's really improved in that regard. Sam James had a touchdown catch. He caught a few balls. Reese Smith had a couple catches. Caden Prather looked really good. He caught about 4 balls, including one beautiful catch on the sideline from a really nice throw by Garrett Green. But the story of the day from the receiving group, Preston Fox. Preston Fox caught 5 balls for 117 yards, including a one-handed diving catch on the sideline that made number 2 on SportsCenter's top 10 plays of the day. The coaching staff raved all spring about how Preston Fox had been making plays at practice. That continued in the spring game, and he looked absolutely phenomenal. His performance in the spring earned him a scholarship, a full-ride scholarship to play for the Mountaineers, so he's no longer a walk-on player. Can he continue this against Power 5 competition in the fall? I'll be anxious to see that. I'd love to see Preston Fox, being a West Virginia native and a former walk-on, be able to step up and be a contributor for this Mountaineer team on Saturdays. Now let's look at the one spot where a lot of the fans have the biggest question mark, especially after last season, and that's the offensive line. I felt like the offensive line looked pretty dang good. They were able to get some push on what I consider a really talented defensive line. They were able to make holes for the running backs. They protected the quarterbacks really well, like I said, only giving up the 1 sack and the 3 hurries. But keep in mind, again, the defense wasn't blitzing. So we've got to remember that. This is a spring game, guys. It's a glorified practice. So all of this has to be taken in that context, okay? But overall, I felt the line looked good. They were able to establish an 8th guy that might be able to step up and play some minutes with Nick Malone, who's also a walk-on. But the kid's put on 40 pounds. He's got an offensive lineman body now, and he's been able to look really good and was able to contribute in that spring game on Saturday. Let's hope that continues into the fall. So long story short, Graham Harrell's offense looks much improved over what we saw last year. The running backs continue to look solid. The receivers look like they've improved their game and going up to get 50-50 balls. I think we have 3 wide receivers on this team right now that are eventual potential NFL players in Sam James, Bryce Ford Wheaton, and Caden Prather, who's only a sophomore, by the way. And then the quarterbacks. I feel like Goose Crowder kind of distanced himself from the other 2 guys in his performance. We'll see if – I'm sure all those guys are going to continue to work through the summer. We'll see if he can separate himself even further. And has he separated himself enough to push JT Daniels for that starting spot? That'll be interesting to see. I personally think JT Daniels will end up being the starter, as I think most people do. But hopefully Goose can at least push him and make him earn it. Well, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section about WVU Spring Game. What were your takeaways from the game? Like I said, I don't put a whole lot of stock in the spring game. I'll be straight up with you. It's not really something I get excited about, but I know a lot of my viewers do, so I wanted to bring you a video about it. So let me know once again in the comments, what were your thoughts? Are you more excited about the season now or less excited after watching the spring game? Let me know. Also, don't forget to go to earsgear.com, purchase you an Ears Gear shirt like the one on the screen right now, along with many others. Or, hey, if you're a hunter, he does some outdoor gear too. There's a lot of shirts. There's some shirts about turkey hunting, about deer hunting, some other things like that. He has an outdoor section that's not just about Mountaineers, so you can check those out as well. Use the promo code COUZ, C-O-U-Z in all caps, along with that link in the description box. Save 20%. So it'll save you money, and it'll also help me by supporting my channel. There are also other links in the box you can use to Fanatics, Amazon, and BetUS if you wanted to use that for your sports betting. Use promo code JOIN125 to get 125% bonus on your first bet. All those things help my channel, or you can become a member of Couz's Corner by hitting the join button right below this video. Get some really cool perks, like an emoji that has Ric Flair going, woo! There's a Nico Marchiol emoji, a transfer portal emoji, and Flying WV emoji. Use those during chat, live streams, and also during comments. And there's some members-only content you'll have access to, among some other perks. So check those out by hitting the join button right below. If you want to support me for totally free, hit the subscribe button. Give the thumbs up button, which is also right underneath the video. Share it out to your college sports loving friends. I really appreciate your support and for you tuning in. And until next time, Q Country Roads.